Hello, Special Agents. It's Agent Dee Bree, and I'm going to go over the part of our agenda where we go through the binder and the overview of VBS. The reason why I'm doing this as a video is because it's pretty visual, so once you get your binder, I would like you to still go through it, but this should help you knowing what's in it. So this is our binder, Agency D3, and it's our Leader Info binder. When you open it up, there is a pocket, and so I'm going to first go through the things that are in the pocket. The first thing is the Leader Info mini file folder that many of you got when you first signed up. In here we have a list of all the leader expectations. The leader expectations are very similar to the leader expectations that you would find in the beginning of your leader books if you have one. In here we go through what your expectations are as a leader, some of the perks of being a leader, and what the commitment entails. Be sure to read through this. It will be really helpful in knowing what your commitment is. On the back, we have all the dates for our upcoming meetings that you will need to attend. We would like everybody to miss no more than 2 meetings, and part of our encouragement for you to do that is for every meeting you go to, you get a prize. And so tonight, everybody who came to the meeting got these sunglasses that have mirrors on the sides so you can see what's going on behind you. At your first meeting, you will also get a pair of these, and at your second meeting, you'll get an Agency D3 badge. All right, the next thing is everybody gets a CD of the music that is in, that we will be going through during the week. Highly encourage you to start listening to this. There's a lot of great lines to it. There's a lot of ways to help memorize the Bible verse. And then you will know the words as we are going through them with Mr. Lou. Another thing is, if you are wanting to learn more of the words and the motions ahead of time, and if you just want to see what is available to the families, there's a card in here about the Agency D3 app. The Agency D3 app costs $2.99. It is available on iTunes or Google Play Store, and you just search the Lifeway VBS Agency D3. And on here, there's a lot of different games, activities, reviews of the story, but it also has all the choreography for the songs. So if you are missing meetings or if you cannot attend them, this is a great way to get caught up to speed on all the motions that we will be doing in the songs. Okay, the next thing is there are some stickers. These stickers are to help you in planning your activities. I suggest as you're reading through your book and looking at the ideas, put red stickers on the ideas that just aren't going to work for you, green stickers on the ones that sound like a great idea and you know you want to go for it, yellow on maybe ones that you're still kind of thinking about, you want to talk about with your co-leader, make some final decisions on before you commit to it, and blue can be anything you have a question about, anything you want to go back to, anything that you need to talk to me about. So these are just to help you in your planning. And then I also have magazine holders. This is what they look like. They are plastic. You can put your book right in it, and then it clips into your folder. These are optional. If you have a book and you want to keep it in your folder, make sure you get a magazine holder so you can keep all of your stuff together. So that is the stuff in the front of the binder. So now let's go to the next tab, which is Overview. And from the Overview, the first thing you'll see is the VBS schedule. The VBS schedule is the same as it was last year, so if you did VBS with us last year, you will be pretty familiar with how it works. As you can see, we start with worship rally, we go to Bible story time, and then the rotations start. The rotations are the same every day, and if you are a blue group or a purple group leader, your rotations are a little bit different. So your schedule is down here as well as on the back of that. So be sure to look that over. All of you will get the schedule on your name tag, so you'll have it with you. But in your planning, this is a really good thing to have handy. Lifeway always comes up with creative names for their location sites, and so we will be having worship rally at a headquarters, and it's all lined up on this paper. Bible study is in the evidence vault. And then from the rotations, they do music in the communication hub, recreation at the training grounds, snack in the break room, crafts in the lab, missions in the map room, and then at the end of the day we all come back to headquarters for our closing rally. Next thing is our VBS groups and breakdowns. If you are new to VBS and you're a little confused on what all these colors are and what they mean, this breaks it down. It shows you the name of the color of the group, what age group they are, the max children that we will allow in that group, and then also the adult to child ratio, and therefore how many adults we need. So as you're looking at the team list and thinking, wow, there's a lot of people needed for the orange group, well, that's because we have usually the most kids in that. We need to keep the ratio of 1 to 4, so we're needing about 6 adults with that group. So that's that page. The next page is the floor plan, and this shows us where the groups will be meeting during Bible story time in their evidence vaults. So we have classrooms, and during the Bible story time, each color group will be in the classrooms designated by the color. The blue group will be outside. We're trying to come up with a really fun, creative place for them to do their evidence vault space. Crafts will be in the middle. Missions will probably be outside unless we come up with something better. Recreation on the grass next to the church by the play structure. Snacks will be served in the front of the church near the steps. Snacks will obviously be prepared in the kitchen. Okay, this next page goes through the purpose of VBS. Every week at our meeting, from weeks 2 through 5, I'll be sharing personal letters from people about how VBS has changed and impacted their life, and that will remind us of the purpose of VBS. But today we went over the written purpose of VBS by Lifeway. I'm going to read it to you, but I also recommend that you read it over because there's a lot of good stuff in it. It says, Vacation Bible School is a ministry designed to reach people of all ages. Leading them to know and respond to Jesus Christ is led by the Holy Spirit. VBS is a fun-filled spiritual adventure that provides concentrated Bible study and encourages real-life application. The purpose of VBS is accomplished based on time-tested and church-proven principles. So as we do all of our planning and preparing, we do want to keep going back to that purpose and make sure that the things that we're doing align with that. So that is the overview section of the binder. The next section is our meeting notes. Now this was the agenda for this week. It was on red paper because this week the red group presented their story time, their Bible story time. In this email that I'm sending out up at the top, there is sign-ups for the other Bible story leaders to pick a date and sign up, as well as rotation leaders. So go ahead, if you are a Bible story teacher or a rotation leader, click on that link, sign yourself up so that you have a date, and then at that meeting we will have you do a presentation. So in that section of the binder is where you would put your meeting agendas and anything else that gets passed out at the meetings that should go in there. So the next thing is, if you go back to leader info, this is where we will put the role and contact sheet as a hard copy. I didn't put it in here this week because it's still a work in process, and therefore we still have some leader needs. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but some of the ones that we really need leaders for that we are still looking for to be filled are leaders for the yellow group, leaders for the purple group. We need another missions rotation leader, recreation, and music rotation leader. And we'd also love to have somebody else help Jeremy with the music for the violet, purple, and red group. And we could use a Friday night performance director. So there are still quite a few spots that need to be filled. If you know people who are looking for ways to get plugged in, definitely have places for them, and we would love them to join us. All right, on the back of the binder, we have some more great information. The first thing is the prayer calendar. There are 31 different prayer requests and suggestions that you can go through over the next several weeks and just lift up a couple of them or one of them a day. It's really great to focus your prayer and make sure that you are thinking about VBS and praying for VBS. I do recommend leaving your binder out maybe like this somewhere so that as you walk by, you can just point to something and be lifting that up or be doing it more systematically. On the side here, we go through what each of the day's themes are for each day of VBS. Most of them are questions. Is Jesus really God's son? Was Jesus more than just a good man? Was Jesus' death real? I say most of them are questions because for the older kids, they're all questions. For the younger kids, some of them are statements. So if you have younger kids, then you want to look at your text and make sure that you have the right theme, but most of them are all very, very similar. So that's there to remind you of what's coming up on each day. Our verse is right here. This is where the theme comes from. By the end of the week, we hope all the kids and leaders know this verse. But honor the Messiah as Lord in your hearts. Always be ready to give a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. And that's 1 Peter 3:15. Agency D3 is obviously our theme. Our motto is discover, decide, defend. And down here at the bottom, we have our dates, events, and deadlines. All this is on the website, which is hopefellowshipchurchvbs.com, but you also have this great reference to know when our meetings are, what we'll be going over at the meetings, and important deadlines that are coming up. I'm going to go through a couple of them right now just so you can be thinking about them. For our next meeting, you need to have read through all your materials for all 5 days and already be thinking and pretty committed to what activities that you're going to be doing. The reason why we ask you to do this so early is because the very next week I need those supply lists. The supply lists are online. You can go ahead and start filling it out, or if you can't fill it out online, bring it to me on a piece of paper and I can plug it in for you. We have lots of people who really want to support us at VBS, and one of the ways they can do that is by helping us round up supplies. We also have a mission team that is coming around the 4th of July. You can outsource them for all sorts of things. So if you have projects you want them to be working on, if you want them to be cutting things out, prepping things for you, have that list ready so that we can be using them to get a lot of things done before the week of VBS. You will need a VBS name. Many of you already have them, and that's great, but if you don't, be thinking of them, and you need to get your background check form. That is also on the website. Again, most of you have background checks already because you served with us last year. If you don't, just go online, do that really quick, take care of it so that we can check that off. Another thing this says is support postcards distributed. Support postcards are something new that we are doing this year. They are cards that we are sending out to friends and family, asking them if they would support VBS in one of 3 ways. One is we would love for them to join the 1% prayer team. The 1% prayer team is a group of people who commit to praying for 1% of the VBS day, which is just 15 minutes. They can sign up, there's a form, they fill it out. Tamika, our registration director, plugs them into a place where they pray for 15 minutes for the VBS day. We would love to have the entire VBS week, including the celebration night, covered in prayer. So that's one way that people can support us. People can support us financially. For every $10 people support, that covers one child for 1 day of VBS. For every $50, that's a kid for an entire week. Currently, in our first week, we already have 35 kids supported for the whole week of VBS. So this is wonderful news, and we would love to have every single child sponsored by our supporters. And then the last thing is that people can contribute to the needs that we have using the supply list. So next week we should have those postcards ready. You can mail them or give them out to people and ask for their support. In the meantime, if you want to point them to the website, which again is hopefellowshipchurchvbs.com, there is a page for supporters that goes through all that information. So that is the VBS binder. That is the overview of VBS in a 15-minute video. And if you don't have your binder yet, make sure that you pick it up at the next meeting. Prestonwood people, I'm sending them to you. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, just let me know. Thanks a lot.